Ro, Rohan? Who is this guy? Rohan? The one and only Rohan!
Hello and thank you to my cohorts from the show. Happy Friday everyone, Fans First Friday. And unfortunately this week we aren't going to have a double Rohan as we did last week. I know, you're all really sad, but we have got something better. Rohan's Corners Through the Generations review of Studio Series 86 Perceptor. If you're serious about Peace Megatron, then begin by surrendering your new weapon. Although I have to say, it is Perceptor time right now. XTB have launched their Jensen, MechFans Toys have launched their KO of the Magic Square figure. Everywhere seems to be doing Perceptor right now. Fans Toys have got Tesla version 2 coming out. And we've got this excellent little guy, Studio Series 86 Perceptor. So let's get down to it, shall we? Right, so let's take a look at the packaging. You'll notice in the corner I've done an unboxing video. I really like this new packaging that they've got for Studio Series. I like the square effect and the plastic window so you can actually see the figure without getting damage on it. The face sculpt on the artwork is excellent, much better than the actual toy itself, and the colour scheme actually slightly better than the actual toy itself. I don't know why they went with that light blue plastic. Of course, we have Studio Series 86 Perceptor on the side. He is a deluxe class, although he is quite a large deluxe class, to be fair. Comes with his background and obviously converts into his microscope mode and a little tank mode as well. A lot of attention, nonsense, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. Inside the box, as you probably saw in my little video on the side there, we've got two cards, which Hasbro, I thought you were trying to be environmentally friendly. We've got the stand itself, which you can put the figure on to display, and then we've got the backing card on which he actually comes affixed. And I have to say, this guy has got 567 different wire ties that you have to cut off. Annoying as hell. One thing that's pretty cool about the box, and again something Hasbro probably didn't really need to do, probably added a little bit of cost, is this little cutout here. As you pull up the insert, you'll notice it comes out. That's actually a window which they've cut out with the 86 number there on the underlying packaging. Why? Who knows? And so onto the actual figure himself. As I mentioned, the face sculpt on this guy, it's nice, but I wish they would have given him some sort of better expression, a smile, a grimace, something other than just straight across mouth. The silver paint is interesting. On some of the other third-party figures, you've got whiter coloured faces. I think it works okay. I really like the chest. I think out of all the Perceptors I've ever had, felt or seen, this has got the best looking chest out of all of them. Hey, in terms of his stature, he looks really good. He's a chunky little bot and he looks just like his Generation 1 presence, which for me is absolutely everything. Very cartoon accurate. I will complain about some hollowness in the forearms here, and of course there is this majorly hollow piece back here where his head goes into, but overall it's pretty decent. You do get his tank treads for that third mode that they've showcased on the box there, and the detailing is quite nice. They've actually gone through and detailed quite a lot in all various different places to give him a less streamlined look, which gives a little bit of character addition. And I think actually, looking at how Legacy drag strip looks today, I'm going to do it. I'm going to throw out a phrase and coin it right here. I think Hasbro are actually at their very most 3P designed that they've ever been. And what I mean by that is the stylization of the plastic, the amount of detail that they're putting into these figures, and the way in which they've designed the engineering is the most 3P like I've ever seen. So good on you, Hasbro, for stealing from third party who've been stealing from you for years. The microscope itself is pretty cool. It's on this little hinge joint here and can come up with a ratchet, which is nice to extend, and we'll show off some more of that in the transformation. Here we have Perceptor Through the Generations, Generation 1 Perceptor. Not the most tune accurate, kind of decent color scheme. I like the blacks and the turquoisey colored appendages there. Studio Series 86, Titan's Return. I don't unfortunately own the RTS figure, which turned into that sort of jeepy, snow plowy type vehicle. Mr. Moon here was an early 3P Legends class figure, and the Magic Square Deadly over here, who's recently been KO'd by MechFans Toys, who before Studio Series 86 Perceptor came out was my favourite. I still do really like him, but I think that the look of SS86 Perceptor is actually even better. It's just that the colours on Magic Square are slightly better. The Mr. Moon toy, interestingly, is kind of what you really expect from a Hasbro figure. It's cheapy plastic, it's lightweight, it's chunky, and it hasn't got a lot of detailing on there. But as I said, Hasbro have really stepped it up. For me, Titan's Return is the ugliest one of the lot. I'm being biased because the Generation 1 figure is not great looking. I mean, he could do with a better face sculpt in the G1 and it would be a ton better. But Titan's Return just doesn't really even look like Perceptor for me. I mean, yeah, okay, he's got his microscope and he's got his color scheme and a chest. That's about it. Studio Series is the de facto Percy for me. One thing I will say for the G1 figure is he sure did come with a lot of accessories. And here we have a scale comparison with a leader class, Galvatron, Voyager class, Ramjet, another deluxe class Studio Series figure in Hot Rod, and a Scout class Beachcomber from Power of the Prime. As far as microscope modes go, I would say this is the most G1 toon accurate that we've seen. You've got a lot of articulation in the lens itself, and although it can't swivel side to side like it did in the show, it can go quite far back and quite far forward thanks to this double hinge ratchet scenario. And there's not too much gap. Obviously he does have a little bit of visible head syndrome, especially if you don't remember to turn his head around. I'm going to be honest with you, I think that Studio Series 86 Perceptor looks the best. He's got the most presence, the size, the fortitude. Out of all of these, the one that impressed me the most, I only transformed it for the first time today, was Titan's Return Perceptor for the microscope mode and transformation. He's got some real engineering in there. At the same time, what the hell is this? Mr. Moon, you should be ashamed. The other cool thing about some of these bots, specifically Generation 1 and Titan's Return, is the fact that obviously they have moving lenses in their microscopes, which is very cool, and you can obviously change the angle. In fact, the G1 Perceptor is really a working lens, whereas some of these are just nonsense plastic.
But that's absurd!
And here we have the coveted tank mode, which I'm sure you all display your Perceptors in. It's got tabs to actually hold the legs in, the treads are there, doesn't really roll as such. Yeah, and here it is compared to some of the other tank modes from the other bots. Some of these are third-party fans-made modes. Out of the way, Hard Rod! And so, what are my final thoughts on Studio Series 86 Perceptor based on my Through the Generations review? Well, I said it earlier, he is the de facto Perceptor for me, the best incarnation of this figure that we've ever had, and if you haven't already got him, or haven't already ordered him, I would get it now, because to be honest with you, I think it's the best one out of all my bots that I've showcased today, including the third-party offerings. I know that there are some fanboys out there who love Fans Toys Tesla, and version 2 is coming, and it may be slightly better. But for the price point, you really can't argue with 21 quid's worth of transfer mode. And the fact that I'm just playing with him. You know, we talk about it every week on the show virtually, but how many toys do you actually pick up and just start messing about with these days? Not that many. But in about 30 seconds, I can still transform him and have fun with him. Anywho, for another week, I've been Rohan on Rohan's Corner. I hope you've enjoyed this Through the Generations review. Catch you again next time. Back to the studio.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys, I'm going home.